Hello and welcome back to Under the Moons. My name's Adam and today we're going to be starting a new series where I look back on a few games from my past, ones that paved the way to where I am now. We look back with rose-tinted glasses. We think, oh, that was the perfect game. Oh, those graphics were beautiful. But when we do finally look back, sometimes the edges are a bit more rougher and we start to realize, oh, this game was kind of put together roughly. Now, although the title and thumbnail do include what game we're looking back on, for the sake of drama and excitement, let's take a look back at a Lego game. We'll have to go further back than 2019. Let's go back. Nope, no further. Little further. Wow, there's been a lot of games. A little bit further. Whoa! Too far. Oh, sweet memories. Bit back, bit more. There we go. Lego Rock Raiders. Yes, this game came out in 1999 for the PC and was based on the Lego line of, well, the same title, Rock Raiders. A bunch of miners mining for crystals with rock monsters.
It's you. That was close.
What? Yeah, it was a pretty popular line back at the time. I remember seeing sets of it in the Lego magazine. It looked very nice. I never got any of it. It was quite expensive for the time. In fact, I never got much Lego. So, this video game. Now, let's take a closer look. Lego Rock Raiders takes place in the future, where mining colonies scout the galaxy. I believe the mining ship Nostromo from Alien was a large influence. Touring around a solar system, a sudden wormhole appears and sucks them into a sister galaxy, billions and millions and quadrillions of light years away. How will these minifigs get back home? Well, it seems to be through the power of crystals. They scan a nearby planet, and it's littered with beautiful crystals which I believe will power their ship and get them home. I mean, it's either that or they're just so focused on just mining crystals for their job that they're just going to ignore never seeing their family and friends again. Anyway, so they go and mine these crystals. Other than yourself, the main character of the game seems to be a set of characters, and the leader of them is this chief chap with a shiny chrome helmet and a beautiful mustache. Oh, come on, man, let's do it. First, we have a couple of the tutorial missions to show you how to control the game and kind of the things to expect. And throughout this tutorial, we have the chief pop down and tell us what to do. Wait a second, he hasn't got a helmet on. Young me would look up to this chap, and I really didn't want to disappoint him. You know, his quite strict command regime, and his voice was very commanding. And yeah, I would get upset when I got a game over. Two reasons. One, because of the amount of hours I sink into these levels. We'll get onto that later. And two, just of how disappointed he was.
So near and yet so far. We really needed 50 energy crystals so that we can get home. You must succeed. Mission failed.
Right, let's talk about what you do in this game. So you use these little minifigs to go around, mine the walls, and collect the crystals to get you back home. Well, that sounds easy enough. There's a few more things that go into it. Now, behind every wall wouldn't necessarily be crystals. No, you'd usually find ore, whether that be from drilling the wall directly, or tidying up the mess that's left on the ground. Ore is mainly used to create paths. They also go towards new buildings, and all stored in the tool shed. The tool shed is the spawn point of the game for our minifigs to come down, and from there we get tools, store ore, and many other things. It's the sort of the stepping point to continuing building your base. Yes, I did say base. When you're on a big mining operation like this, you need a few more buildings, maybe another teleporter to bring down more minifigs, and of course power's kind of good, so then you build a power station which runs on crystals. The support station will allow you to build more advanced buildings, and more importantly, distribute a constant supply of oxygen. Yes, depleting oxygen was something you had to worry about further down in a couple of the harder missions. The upgrade station. Here you could update your vehicles to a far higher standard. The super teleporter allowed you to transport down heavy machinery. The ore refinery. These Lego pieces would help create buildings quicker. There are a few other buildings you can build and we'll need them further down the missions, but I'll cover them if necessary. So, let's move on to the minifigs. Who are these chaps? Who are the Rock Raiders? And how do we use them? Ooh. So these are the Rock Raiders. These are your pawns to help mine and find those lovely crystals. A basic Rock Raider can drill a wall, collect ore and crystals, and shovel dirt, build paths and put buildings together. But if you want your selected Rock Raider to do a bit more than that, well, you'll have to upgrade them, and that will allow them to hold more than one tool, drive vehicles, drill advanced walls, shoot freeze guns, shoot pulse guns, blow shit up. Yeah, these guys could be handy once upgraded to the maximum level, but you still have to worry about their health. These little guys could get injured in a few ways. Landslides, stepping in lava, communicating with the natives. If their health bar did empty, then they would be teleported back to the ship. And the other factor is if your rock raider became too tired, they'd seem to become less obedient. And how do you fix that? Well, feeding them jam sandwiches. Oh, very nice. The feature I used the most when it came to individual rock raiders was, well, the ability to rename them to whatever you wanted. If there was a rock raider whose AI seemed more advanced, I named him after me. And if there was a rock raider that seemed to be ignoring my overlord commands, they'd probably get the name of some kid who pissed me off at school that day. A cast of beautiful rock raiders who'd have names of family and friends by the time I'd finished the mission, and yes, the one dick from the class. If these named rock raiders survived, they would come back down for further levels. A really nice addition they added to the game to kind of escape this top-down strategy-based kind of game was the ability to choose a rock raider and view his perspective from a first or second view. It's really nice. Not only that, but you could actually control the selected rock raider. You couldn't do much of him, you could walk around and go up to a wall and he'd automatically start drilling, but it was really cool to be able to possess one of the rock raiders and see his perspective. You would actually see that, yes, you were indeed in a cave. It was very claustrophobic. You'd also be able to see through some of the textures, but we'll get onto bugs. Collecting crystals wasn't the only thing you found yourself doing in a couple of these missions. So the missions did run from anywhere from, collect 5 crystals to, oh, there's a rock raider lost, go find him. The teleporter messed up. Ooh. These Find the Lost Rock Raider were indeed my favourite levels. Now within the mission commands of the level, you were pretty free to do whatever you wanted. Usually I'd see how large a base I could build before the level ended. That was always fun. There was always potential to explore, drill and find new cabins with more energy crystals and ore. And within these levels you could easily see yourself spending more than 2 hours just exploring and building. The worst kind of missions for my 9-year-old self were indeed the ones that added the element of
your air supply is running out.
Like mentioned before, the depleting oxygen would strike the fear into young Adam, far more than the Book of Revelations or M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. Well, no, actually, Signs terrified me as a kid, and I watched that around about the same time. Let's get back on track. So, these rock raiders, these levels, let's run through a mission. What would a mission entail? So, you teleport down a few chaps, and the goal is to find the lost drilling digger thing. An idiot up board on the ship accidentally teleported it down, and we've got to get it back. We drill some walls, build some paths, upgrade the tool store, build a teleporter, get the boys down and continue expanding the base. Now some of these walls can be drilled faster than others and some not at all. So we have to find a route around the caves to connect with the vehicle. Some raiders get upgraded, others get teleported back, some drive around and others eat jam sandwiches. We find the driller and head back to base and boom, mission over. We get a percentage score and then we do it all over again, but this time it's an icy cave. These levels would of course get harder, illustrated by the changing gradient of the levels as you get further and further below the big, ominous, huge one at the end. I never made it past
Frozen Frenzy.
Whether it was down to the continuing onslaught of hordes of ice monsters or the slimy slugs, or my computer just crashed if I played over an hour and a half. Yeah, computers used to crash over stupid things back then. I would always sink like 2 hours plus into this level before something like this would happen. Yeah, always fun. But the level time, the missions did span over a long period of time back then. It was, for a Lego game, to be playing one level for over 2 hours was crazy. The fact there was no saving and returning to the same point in the level meant the only way to do this was to leave the computer on overnight. Or in my case, it would be asking my parents if I could leave the loud family computer that was in their bedroom on overnight. And they said no. All the time. F*** you, Frozen Frenzy. This was actually a pretty slow game. It played out in real time, so if a rock raider had to find a crystal, they would go off, drill a wall, find the crystal, and head back to base. At this pace. Back in primary school, a lot of my report cards would come back around the time of, oh, Adam is such a patient, lonely child. I kind of blame rock raiders for that part. The patient thing, not the lonely. I was never... The monotony of going back and forth doing the same thing, even with multiple Lego men, was a strain. The larger machines that sped up the drilling process were even slower. The developers seemed to know about this because, in the options there was the ability to speed the whole game up. Beyond this, the game had a nice few bugs, which meant the game would crash, audio lines would glitch out, usually repeating for an eternity.
A slimy slug is invading your base. A slimy slug is invading your base. A slimy
The Rock Raider AI also seemed to have a few weird flares. Lay down some dynamite and some would book it. Others would run 3 paces and... Sometimes they would just stand there and ignore the lump of ore you kindly asked them to pick up 12 times. And how can we forget the constant dialogue every time your cursor moved over something?
Cannot teleport Rock Raider.
Yes, power drop. Tool store, power path.
Energy crystal, Rock Raider.
Power drop, solid rock.
Water, top view.
Loose rock, solid rock.
Pump it up.
And also, stop slipping on the frickin' spiders! But despite all these quirks, I love this game. Well, the parts I played anyway. And I'm not usually one to play strategy games in which you govern multiple beings. But the theme, location, and story lends themselves really well to the movable but isometric view strategy genre. From the level of which you could upgrade a Rock Raider to just naming them made this a far more personal experience than other games of the same genre. While the game tested my brain power and response time, it also got me to explore, to anticipate a crystal-filled cabin to be on the other side of a wall. Rock Raider Adam would always be the one on the front line, taking down the monsters, driving the large vehicles, putting up those dangerous supports to stop a landslide hurting others. And when he was transported back to the ship after taking a large hit, I knew that was the last time I would see him. As he ascended off screen, I was reminded of all the good times we'd had, how well he protected the base and found his fellow Lost Raiders. Never had I ever been sadder to say goodbye to a fallen character. And then I noticed another Rock Raider doing really well and just renamed him Adam. Ah, Rock Raiders, a game that's sadly too old to play on newer computers, one that's truly stuck in time. Never has there been a game like it. Back then it was indeed my favourite PC game, and truly was the first time I can think that I would sink hours at a time into a video game. 16 years ago was the last time I played this game, and I still have bags of fondness for it. It really is a game that put me on the path that led me to end up talking about games to you guys. Truly a game that I would happily put on the wall of my gaming history. Or in other words, Rock Raiders makes me feel
Rock hard.
Thank you for watching this trip down memory lane with me. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, maybe drop us a like, and give me a comment of a game that maybe put you on the path to where you are now with your games. Here's a few more videos to check out if you haven't already. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time under the moons. See you later.